Back with Kyle Smith here at Fornelli Field, and it is 0-0, and we are about to get the second half underway. The home St. Ignatius Wolfpack received the kick in the first half, and now, for the first time, we will see their kicker, Salvatore Bestri, the sophomore, who is getting his first action of the season, and it's Nick Johnson back for Benet. Also having kind of the halfback kicking slots, Joe Keogh and Graham Cooney, as Bestri up for the kick. A little pooch punt, and it's going to go into the sure hands of Will Benish, kicker to kicker, as Benish makes a decent return, caught that at about the 25 and gains 9 yards. How about that, a kicker getting a kick return? What are the odds?
Hey, if nobody else can return it, what better person to put behind kicks than somebody who knows what kickoffs are like?
Yeah. I'll say it once, I'll say it 100 times on this broadcast because I love puns way too much. It's March Madness. Kickers are returning the ball. Everything is upside down. But one thing is not upside down is Nick Bafia, 4 for 7 for 35 yards in the first half and second among all rushers in this contest. This time he hands it off to Nick Johnson, who might have gained his first yard of the game, but once again he is stopped at the line of scrimmage by this strong three-man front for the Wolfpack.
I'm going to say it once, I'm going to say it again. You want to win tonight, you're going to have to go spread formation, roll outside the pocket, and throw on this St. Ignatius team.
Splitting two wide receivers, as that is a bullet to Benish, it looks like. Or check that, it's Cooney with his second reception of the game. He has 27 receiving yards now. And a 4-yard gain makes it a third down and short. And that one high, and Jack Malloy was 2 steps behind that one, overthrown, intended for Augie Mazza.
Blocking wasn't great either, so even if he had completed it, it probably would have been short of the first down. But obviously, you don't want to be throwing it overhead over the hands of your wide receiver because that can lead to interceptions, especially if you're throwing it across the field.
And Jack Malloy was a couple of steps from making that interception, but he was a little too far back, and for the third time tonight, we'll see E.J. Tallarico back to receive the punt. This time, he waves his hand in the air for the fair catch and makes it easily.
That's pretty ticky-tack. I thought he gave enough room to catch that ball.
Is that really what they're calling?
What else would it be?
Maybe a hold or something, but I mean, Tallarico came down with that cleanly, and it looks like you are right on the call.
Sideline warning on the Wolfpack.
Actually, they're giving it another sideline warning. I think that's the second sideline warning of the night.
You get one warning, and then it's a penalty.
So that would explain the penalty. A very excited Wolfpack team to be on their home sidelines once again. Just they got to stand behind those white lines.
Yeah, it's definitely for safety. And unfortunately, we saw at the NFL level where a coach tried to trip a player and did during an NFL game. So it is a very serious rule. It's not just, just try your best to stay behind the white line. No, it is a safety thing. You got to make sure you're behind that white line.
I think it was Jacoby Jones who got tripped. I can't remember the coach who did it, though. And going up the middle is Robertson. And he will gain a yard. And Cam Robertson has more carries than anyone else on his team combined. 11 carries for 34 yards and has been able to get positive yardage on all but one play. So a lot of those short gains to kind of make some impact against the offensive line and wear them down a little bit. But it's the rest of the team that needs to bring that knockout punch.
Yeah, and once again, it goes back to when you don't have confidence in passing the ball, the defense knows that too. They're going to stack the box until you can prove you can throw it to the sidelines or down the field.
And until then, the Wolfpack will be trying to break through that stacked box as it's going to be Robertson again. Won't get much, maybe a yard or two.
It is nice to see the fullback. It's not dead in the NFL, but you don't nearly see it as much as the days of Mike Allstott and the other great fullbacks back in the day.
The glory days.
Third down and 5.
As it's a 2-yard carry for Robertson, but it's certainly not dead for Kyle Juszczyk. He just got paid by the Niners.
He's almost like a tight end, how he blocks and
He's whatever they need him to be.
74
He's the-
receiver on the stop.
He's the Niners hero that they might not be the hero they deserve, but he's the one they need right now. He is the
I didn't know if you were going to go full-on Christopher Nolan references, but I guess we're going that way tonight since the score's still nothing.
I could quote that whole movie if you wanted me to. And a pitch out to Tallarico. This is where we've seen some dangerous running, and Tallarico making some nice move, breaking tackles, dodging defenders for a 6-yard gain and a first down. It seems like every run EJ makes, he makes it exciting.
If you want to get somebody that's shifty and he has those joystick type of moves, you got to get low. Football's a strong sport. It's a war of attrition, right? But if you don't get low, especially if somebody is tiny and shifty as Tallarico, he's just going to power right through you. Arm tackles aren't going to do anything against Tallarico. You got to get low, and you got to get your legs into the play, get into the play, level up, and tackle low.
And Tallarico, I mean, if there's going to be anyone who's going to break off a big play for the touchdown, it's going to be him. They've only given the ball to him 5 times. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of him with the success he's had on the ground tonight.
Well, you don't want to risk injury. You can't think like that as a coach, but there's always a carry limit for somebody that's on the smaller side.
This is true, and Keogh getting the give here. He's going to be brought down for nothing.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to abandon those quarterback keepers. If you're going to do that, probably see if you can get a pulling tackle and do a little bit of a quarterback sneak out to the left. You saw that with Vic a lot in his prime. Obviously, he was running 4 or 5 40-yard dashes, but they would run shotgun with Vic, and then they would get that pulling left tackle and get Vic out on the edge. Rugai's great on the edge. He's got some size, too, with those quarterback keepers. They're not successful right now. I'd like to see him get on the edge and see if you can get those tackles into the play. But do you have confidence in the athleticism of your left and right tackles? And have you been practicing that a lot in practice? Hard to say.
Ball right at midfield. 2nd down and 9. 7:40 left in the quarter as that one goes up the middle with Robertson again.
Robertson on the carry. Again,
And Robertson a 3-yard gain, averaging exactly 3 yards per carry. And it's been those chunk plays that are slowly moving the ball forward. St. Ignatius dominating the time of possession because of Robertson just continuing to chew up yards and chew up clock.
Once again, do you feel confident in your field goal kicker? 20 yards in the future, do you feel good going for that field goal? I don't know. It's still early on in the 3rd quarter, but I just don't know how many more chances St. Ignatius is going to have on offense tonight.
Yeah, right now we're certainly not in field goal range. Is 3rd and 7. And a flag on the play. Someone might have jumped on Bennett's side. The play ends up being Rugai gaining a couple. But we'll see. It looks like this one's going to come back with a flag that early there.
It was really early. Can't be a hold. I'd be kind of shocked if it was a hold.
Looks like it's going to be an illegal formation against St. Ignatius.
That's the problem with the triple option. So many things happening. Sometimes you lose your assignment. And especially in a year like this when you weren't able to practice for 6 months. And remember, these kids have only been practicing since March 1st because of the pandemic. Individual workouts, sure, but team workouts, very few and in between. And when you're running a triple option, sometimes those assignments or lack thereof can happen. That's why there was an illegal formation for the Wolfpack there.
And football's certainly a team sport, and you need to get all those team concepts down. And as you said, it's just they haven't had the time. So back in their own territory will go St. Ignatius. And it's going to be 3rd down and long. 6.5 remaining, 49-yard line where the ball is for the Wolfpack, and it's Keogh under center. Tallarico in motion instead to give up the middle to Robertson, and not much going on for this run game. And back in enemy territory, but it may have forced a punt situation.
little bit surprising that you don't want to do the passing play, but if you don't have confidence in your quarterback, you don't have confidence. It's really not about Rugai either too much. The guards and center haven't been great either. And because it's a triple option, they don't run a lot of shotgun. It's not a spread offense. That time you really want to go shotgun. They don't really run that a lot. So they're just going to run it and do a little pooch punch, see if you can pin them inside the 20.
And with Helms back to punt, you really haven't seen any of these teams that willing to take chances. You've seen there was one or two deep ball attempts by Rugai. They went flying over Evan Stewart's head, as that one is going to hit behind the oncoming defender, Tony Tirado. And that one takes a Wolfpack roll, but out of bounds. So Benet will take control deep in their own territory at their own 17-yard line with 5.5 remaining.
Now it's decision time for Benet. Do you want to go all out, try to go 83 yards for the touchdown, or when you get inside the 20, are you thinking field goal? Because remember, because both teams' offenses have struggled. Let's say Benet got the field goal by St. Ignatius because they've been dominating right now with ball possession. If they score a touchdown, that could be the game, 7-3. So you want the field goal, but you're also thinking maybe one touchdown ends this game. You got to be aggressive, I think.
And aggression is something that we haven't seen from either squad. So it'd be interesting to see the start of this drive for Bafi after a 3-and-out in the last possession. 4 wide receivers and Johnson next to him, and it's going to be Johnson getting the give up the middle. He's going to gain some yards for the first time tonight.
That was a man's tackle, though.
A nice shot by Gabe Amaker taking out the legs of Johnson. But Johnson on his 5th carry, gaining
should be about 9.
5 yards, or 8 yards rather.
From their own 27.
So a good play call to start off that drive, and some good execution. Johnson going to get some confidence. And Johnson's going to take it again. And he's going to get the first down. Check that, it is Carson Forney getting his first carry of the game. He is not even listed on the 2 deeps here for Benet.
You saw a little B-gap blitz there from the Wolfpack, and I like the aggression. But eventually in football, you know, there's an offensive line, there's a defensive line. The defensive line can't win every battle. St. Ignatius' defensive line has won the majority of them, but law of probability says Bennett's going to win some of them. That time they do, what can St. Ignatius do to adjust? Because they can't afford a touchdown. In fact, they really can't afford a field goal either, but you can live with the field goal if it happens.
So about an 8-yard gain for Forney, who remains in at the halfback position, but it's Cooney on the reverse, and a big stop from the Wolfpack. Number 3, John Kemp, making his first tackle of the night, and that is a big loss for Forney.
How about that, huh? A sack to ignite this fan base and your teammates. Excellent tackle. Got low. Pursuit was there. Shifted the feet well. Good basketball shuffle. Get into the play. Then got low to finish the tackle.
Now with a name like Kemp, he's definitely got a good basketball shuffle. 6-yard loss for John, the biggest loss we've seen, not on a penalty today. And Bafia, comfortable in the pocket, throws it up the middle and has the completion, but it won't be enough for the first down. It's Augie Mazza, his number 1 receiver, and Mazza will gain back about 7 yards, and Vinny Rugai making the tackle.
3rd and 3 from the Red Wing 44.
So Mazza's got 2 receptions for 10 yards. And under center again, 4 wide receivers, 2 on each side. And still, it's Forney in the backfield. It's a quick pass, almost picked off, and it looks like that's a catch. That was a very, very dicey catch. A lot of traffic, but it's going to be Modi coming up with it for the 4-yard gain.
You want to be QB1, sometimes you got to throw in those tight windows, especially a close game like this.
And that brings Bafia's total to 50 yards on the game, 7 for 11. As a flag is down and a false start is called against Benet. So their first down of the second half leads to 1st and 15 on the 43.
Can't have it. I mean, what else can you say? But you just can't have it. You got to know your assignment. And I give these kids a little bit of some credit, and I don't want to critique them too much, but you can't have it, especially on a known passing play on 1st and 10 at the 48.
2:45 left. Bafia under pressure. Screen pass tipped up, incomplete. And it was Jack Clisham who was inches away from the first interception of the season. And that will bring up 3rd down. Or 2nd down, rather, sorry. So 2nd and 15. Or I was right, scoreboard's wrong. 3rd and 15 with 2:44 left in the third. And it's definitely a passing scenario here.
Problem is, stops the clock, but the good news is for Benet, you have an incompletion. St. Ignatius hasn't really done much on offense either. The chess game continues.
And a play option, Bafia's going to take it, and Bafia's got room down the sideline, and that could be a touchdown, but a flag is in the air.
That's got to be a hold. He had so much
There's
room.
Nothing else. There's nothing else it could be.
And you can see the side judge saying, "Hold your horses, Benet," and he's waving back. He's waving it back.
That would have been a huge play for Bafia. Hold. It looks like he's going to take back a 57-yard run.
Timeout called?
No way.
Wow. Touchdown's good. No flag.
Oh, so I think it was it might have been a sideline warning. So that's a 3rd sideline warning for St. Ignatius, but it looks like we've got ourselves a touchdown, and it's Nick Bafia. A 57-yard touchdown run. So the first time we're going to have an extra point on the night.
Could be the last one, too.
Let's hope not. I love a good touchdown. And that brings Bafia's rushing total to 83 yards with that 57-yard score as Benish's kick is up and good. So for the first time tonight, we have a touchdown. 7-0 for the visiting Benet Academy. Bit different than the score line last year. We'll be back.
Figure this out. We got 235. 235. Yep. Ball in the 40. How many yards was that?
57, yep.
That might be the game, fellas. That's our player of the game right there.
Mm-hmm.
About ready. Yeah, you guys ready?
Yep.
Mike's out. Third quarter of action, a 57-yard sneak from Bafia to the end zone, and it was an immediate penalty. We've seen a lot of those today. We thought it was a hold. Another sideline warning. Only in high school football do you see that, though a couple of times. You'll see at the NCAA level, especially with Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines for the University of Michigan. But 57-yard, little option to the right. Maybe that's what Bennett's got to do, Josh, because that was very successful.
Yeah, it's you think that St. Ignatius is going to be running all the option plays, but it's Nick Bafia, the senior quarterback in his first start, who's the one bringing that option to glory. And Benish, who just made the extra point, is going to kick it off to Robertson and Tallarico. It's going to the right side, just out of the end zone. It's going to be Tallarico with it. trying to get some space, but he is swarmed by white jerseys and knocked down at the 15-yard line.
Well, field goal would kind of help you here, but really you're thinking 7. Really what you're thinking is just 1 first down at a time. Ball possession key, but now you got to put that ball in the end zone or at least get 3 points, and now you got to get a stop on defense too. So what are you going to see on offense? Well, probably a couple of runs, and then you're going to have to go play action because Benet is stacking the box a lot.
And definitely you'll see possession football from this St. Ignatius team. And if I'm a betting man, I bet that it's going to Cam Robertson, going right up the middle.
If they're going to run it, that's a good bet, my friend.
So 1st and 10 from the 15, 2.5 remaining in this third quarter. And it looks like they're going with a play action instead. Stewart is open. Can he get there? He's knocked down. Doesn't get the reception. And an easy pass interference call right in front of the official. Stewart knew it. Greg Fisher, the defending corner, knew it. And that is going to be a big gain on penalty yardage.
Remember, though, they play NCAA rules. It's only a 15-yard gain. It's not a spot foul.
Yeah, but still, I mean, that, I got to say, that could have been a touchdown-saving penalty. Stewart looked like he was there. He had Fisher beat. And if he was completed, enough speed could have been trouble.
Yeah, it was a little bit late on the throw, but at the same time, you got to expect a lot out of your high school quarterback to be able to throw it 50 yards on a dime. That's like a Sam Darnold arm to be able to do that. But it was a good enough throw that the defender had no choice but to do the pass interference. Otherwise, it would have been a 40-yard completion.
Absolutely, and it's now 1st and 10
First
again,
and 10.
This time from the 30. Malloy motioning again. This time it's going to be Robertson up the middle.
And I just don't like that. They were showing some consistency a little bit with the passing game. You got to do it one more, I think, 2 to 3 passes in a row to really keep Benet guessing. I don't like going to Robertson. I know he's been your most consistent offensive player right now to a certain extent, but they seem to find something in that last passing play. I would have tried to do it again. Yeah,
it's really just been kind of their default setting where they start off a drive with that. They had the trickery with the play action, but you haven't seen a play with with multiple passes in a row. It's what you said, and usually it's kind of you alternate any attempted an option, a pass play with that Robertson rush under the middle. So not a formula for success, and that's why it is St. Ignatius chasing Benet Academy.
Look at that pitch. Almost got tackled for a loss and didn't really get much on it, but could have been a lot worse. Could have been a fumble, could have been a sack. Instead, it's a very short gain for the Wolfpack.
And Tallarico with a 1-yard reception, his first of the game. 1-yard rush, I guess. So Tallarico brings his rushing total to 35 yards. And it's 3rd down and 9 with about a minute to go.
And then it's decision time for Benet. Let's say that St. Ignatius doesn't get this first and they do an incompletion, make it 4th and 7, they punt. For Benet, you obviously want to score another touchdown, make it 14-0. This game is pretty much over. At the same time, though, you might want to just keep running the ball, even if you're not getting first downs. You get a couple of first downs here, you keep running clock, and you put the pressure on St. Ignatius when the Wolfpack get the ball back again to tie it up late in the 4th quarter.
This time a quick bootleg out for Rugai. He's got Stewart open, almost a great one-handed catch, but a little too tall for the senior receiver, and we've got another 4th down.
That's why you do the drill, hands out, hands out. Unless you have exceptional talent, you always want to have 2 hands out at all times, even if you're not going to use that other hand. Just by the laws of muscle memory, you're going to use that other hand to help your left. When you don't have it ready to go, it gets there too late, and you have to force a one-handed catch. If the hands were out, it could have been a 2-handed catch and a diving play. Either way, it would have been a tough catch.
And Rugai rolling right into pressure as well, just put a little too much on that throw. As back to receive is going to be O'Malley and Johnson. Helms on the punt.
Remember, it could be a little short punt again. You got number 9 ready for Benet for the pooch punt.
That one went straight up in the air. Mulcrone getting out of the way of it. And St. Ignatius is letting it roll. And it's going to be downed at the 38 by Damian Lissac.
from their own 37-yard line.
So back comes Bafia and the Red Wings. Last time he touched the ball, he made some magic happen, a 57-yard touchdown run. That is the difference on the scoreboard. 7-0 with 26 seconds remaining, and it's 1st and 10 on the Red Wings' own 37.
For Benet, just try to get a couple of first downs. Keep that clock moving. Have the St. Ignatius office second-guess themselves on the sideline as we get closer to 0-0 on the clock in the fourth quarter.
And a handoff fake to Johnson. Bafia with a nice stiff arm trying to get some room. He was way behind the line of scrimmage, but burst his way ahead of it. Maybe a 2-yard gain for Bafia.
A gain of 2.
And that'll bring up 2nd and 8.
2nd and 8 from the Red Wing 39.
So 7 carries for 85 yards, and of course that 57-yard touchdown for Bafia, as that will end the third quarter. We finally have a score, 7-0 off that big touchdown run from Bafia. We'll have one more quarter left when we come back on Sports Broadcast Solutions, a broadcast network for everyone.
Okay, you can, I would turn the,